Jim Sheridan, like the hotel, right?
No, it's D-A-S-H-E.
Sheridan.
Yeah, I wish I had some of that hotel money, but no, it's Sheridan. Sheridan, yes. The Irish way to spell it.
You don't look Irish at all.
Yeah, really. Okay, yeah. We were just at this year at the beach. My dad's like, I was like, Dad, we're going down the beach. You want to know where we're going? Like, what we're going to be on this side? He goes, I just get on the boardwalk and I just look where the sun is reflecting and burning my eyes off the whitest person on the beach, and then I know where you are, so I'll find you on the beach. Don't worry. Yeah.
Does your dad look like you?
He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got all white hair now. I'm getting close, but yeah, he's a good guy.
Is he still in Pittsburgh?
No, not Pittsburgh. My parents live in
South Florida.
No, North Carolina, a little north of Wilmington, little island up there. So we get to visit them a decent amount. It's nice right on the beach.
What did he do?
My dad worked for many years. He was a sales rep for originally for Zenith, which I don't know if you guys remember Zenith.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of the last American.
I had Zenith TVs.
Yeah, Zenith. Yeah. Zenith. It was. I remember the slogan was Zenith, the quality. But but anyway, they went out of business, and he worked as a sales rep for Maytag for many, many years, and then he's pretty much retired now. But
cool.
Yeah.
So you've been in insurance for a while.
About 20 years now.
20 years. Yeah. So how has COVID affected your business or at all?
Well, it has quite a bit. You rarely now, you're not getting people, we don't get a lot of walk-ins to begin with, but man, when you're trying to get into mortgage brokers' offices, get face-to-face with big-time people who refer you all the business, it's tough to do now. And
sure.
And even getting in face-to-face, more on the life insurance side, I think to get face-to-face with somebody and talk to them about their family and what their needs are. Doing it Zoom is just it loses a little bit of the personal touch, so it's affected a little bit. But
you run a team as well, don't you?
Well, I'll say that again.
You run a team too, don't you?
Oh yeah.
So I would assume somebody that's seasoned like yourself in sales that can fight the battles of everyday occurrences or pandemics, if you will, or the 2008 crash or all these things that's happened since 2001. Seems like we have something like this happen every 4 or 5 years since 2001. Crazy. But those people are the ones you have to worry about because they might not be able to take the hits and mental hits.
This is true.
Because in a perfect sales world environment, you're still getting told no and get your shit out of here.
Absolutely. No, it's true. I mean, you gotta be able to make your numbers. You got to figure out a way. You got to just think outside the box. And for the most part, most people are finding a way. At least the people I'm associated with. But there's been quite a lot more turnover than I've seen because of this pandemic. And there's some other things. Just in insurance, a lot of things are going online, just like everything. You buy insurance online. You don't necessarily need an agent. So all that stuff factors in. But it's been a rough year. But it's like that for everybody. I mean,
sure.
You also too. I would assume.
Well, this podcast only exists because of COVID.
There you go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I would assume that it probably puts a lot of emphasis on your renewals because in the old days. You might lose somebody, you add a couple more, and so that churn you didn't feel it as much as maybe you do now, where
right.
you might you spend a little more time really investing in your existing portfolio.
That's absolutely right.
Really develop your people.
It's much less expensive to spend time keeping existing clients, than losing that client and then having to, drum up more business. So that's an
old business saying right there. It's cheaper to keep them.
It is.
It's cheaper to keep a client than acquire a new one.
We're talking about marriage too. We're talking about wives or business.
It's everything. It's everything. It's cheaper to maintain the client than go and acquire one.
Right.
By a lot.
Yep. Right.
I mean, you could probably do that math with our book, and it's
also easier to sell something to someone that you already have a relationship with.
This is true. Right?
You already sold. That's an old. I was at an old mentor who took me to a conference, and that's what one of the guys said is that if you can't go back in to your existing book of business and resell them stuff, you weren't honest with them in the first place.
Right.
Like you should feel ashamed of yourself, because if you can go back in and go, I know that I sold you a good product before. Here's this one. Then you've done a good job by them, and they'll probably buy from you because they already like you. That's half the battle, is getting somebody to like you.
That's it. Yeah, I've
In a sales environment, anyways.
Yeah. I'm not to get too deep into the products and stuff, but yeah, I'm dealing with. I won't bore you.
I'll start talking about credit card.
Yeah, the
processing
exciting insurance industry,
that.
but term. A lot of people buy term life insurance. It's cheapest. But what they don't realize is, you have a 20-year term policy. After 20 years, that policy, if you've not rolled it over to something else, is going to absolutely skyrocket based on your age, and also they're going to rate you thinking you've got cancer or whatever. And so you got to do, your agent's got to do his or her due diligence and call you about 5 years before and say, hey, look, maybe we need to roll this over into something else, because 5 years this rate is going to go way the heck up. But I've actually had some of my former clients who've called me and said, hey, I moved over to this new guy. He got this policy. He didn't tell me about it. I want to move back to you. I trust
don't
you.
die.
So, yeah,
that's the key.
Well, that's it. Don't die. Most people know, which is why life insurance is so big time for insurance. Why all insurance companies want to sell it. So
I would assume that, Jim, you tell me if I'm wrong. I would assume that in the next 5 years, that whole landscape and life insurance is going to change because of COVID.
It already is.
And because this is probably not going to be America's last pandemic in our life. Probably in the next 10 years there'll be another one of some sort, and that's going to change that whole landscape of life insurance.
And it already has, because underwriting is not real sure. That's one of the questions they ask you. Have you had COVID?
Is this guy going to die?
Yeah,
They use an algorithm.
Yeah. So people say, "Oh, yeah, I did. Well, I did, but I didn't have any symptoms. Oh, I lost my taste, but I'm good now." Well, okay,
That's right.
We're gonna tear you up just because we don't really know. Okay, you had it once, are you susceptible to it again? Eventually, they'll come up with a good algorithm,
A way to not pay people,
right? Or a way to rate them properly. But it's nuts. And like you said, the next pandemic, unfortunately, they're gonna rate things appropriately, thinking, hey, it's coming down the road, we got to protect ourselves. But
I read this on Facebook, so it's got to be true. But that there was, we'll call this person a psychic, that said they had predicted the 2020 version, and there's going to be one in 2030 too. So I did read it on Facebook. So take that to the bank. Take that to your underwriters.
Yeah, I don't know. I just read something that there was there's a strain in England or in Great Britain that's a stronger strain. So I don't know. And I do need to preface.
I already got the UK strain.
You already had it?
I already had it.
I got
It's not bad.
I got the UK vaccine. Yeah, I went there.
There's
The Queen administered it herself.
South African strain too.
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah. All
But
of these
I do want to say,
That's right.
I do want to say one other thing. As an insurance agent, I joke about, but life insurance is extremely important.
It is.
So just
Oh,
just
No,
put a
it
little
is.
asterisk right there. But anyway, there's
It's
saying
not an
that.
asterisk, man.
It's probably the most important one you buy.
It really
It
is.
is.
It's real, and having that policy alleviates so much stress to your loved ones afterwards. And it doesn't have to be. If it was a $20,000 one, it relieves stress.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a $250,000 or $1 million policy. That little bit goes a long way, and it's super important. It is. And it's hard to explain to people. And really, what you need to do is, in my opinion, and you can tell me you've forgotten more than I'll ever know about this, but you should get it when you're 23.
Yeah, absolutely right. The younger and healthier, the less expensive it's going to be. But also that, and some of these agents, I've been doing it a long time. You go in and they say, okay, they don't want to look at your how much money you're making, and they project out, okay, well, you need to have this X amount. And most people don't have enough. But the way I sell it is, hey, let's get something that's going to fit your budget, so you can keep it over the course of your lifetime or whatever term you decide. Because you sell a guy $1 million and they can't really afford that, and they keep it for a year or two, and then they quit paying on it. They don't have it anymore. I just that's not the
Mine's
the
out of
purpose
sight, out of mind. It comes out, and I got it when I was like 26, 27. So it's like $32 a month.
That's it, man. They just
but I'm 40, so it probably is a term. It's probably coming up in about 6 years.
Yeah, you have just say, hey, take a look at this. When is that? When is this coming up?
I know a guy that can help you with that.
I'm gonna tell you a story, Jim. So we're in our old office, and a life insurance guy comes in, And he sits at the table. He's pitching me and Chris. And this guy is less than a perfect salesperson. It's a very, very good way to say it. But
it'd be tough to sell you guys too.
He was.
I think I know who you're talking about. We're not going to say his name.
No, we are not. But he hard dogged Chris, and he said a line that I'm like, I just started dying laughing. The cheesiest, shitty salesman say lines like, "Oh, you don't want to save money?" That's the worst sales line ever. Don't say it.
Right.
This guy said, "If you die right now, you would be leaving your wife out there with nothing. You don't know what she's going to have to do after that."
Oh,
Yeah.
And he goes,
he just let that sit in
and
the
he
air.
goes, no, and he said, he goes, "Are you insinuating that my wife's going to have to turn to prostitution after I die?" And I'm just dying. I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, she might have to, Chris. You don't know.
I mean, I was like, there's other options. I mean, it's just comfortable or hooker. It's just there's no in between.
Are you insinuating?
He goes,
"Are you insinuating that my wife's got to be a hooker after I die?"
He goes, "No, really, Chris, you don't want her to have to make a business decision." And I go, "A business decision?"
That is a business. It's the oldest business, by the way.
Yeah, that's
At the end of the month or something, or end of the year, this guy was really just, he really needed to hit numbers. I don't know where he's coming from
Look,
there.
desperate people don't sell well. I'll say that. But if that's the case, go get a 9 to 5, dude. Stop working on commission.
Yeah,
but Chris looked at him and goes, "Look, my she's young enough. She's pretty enough. She'll get another husband."
I just need to buy her some time.
He goes, "She'll find somebody else."
She's gonna be just fine.
So
that's great.
That's my life insurance story for the day. It was awesome. There's been a lot of bad salesmen come in my office, and I pretty much listen to any salesman that comes in here because that's what we've
see their
done.
pitch, yeah.
Well, see their pitch, and look, I have knocked on door after door my whole life. A few 100,000, and I know how hard it is. And I'm not saying that I won't buy from them. I don't buy from a lot of them, but I will listen to them, and especially if they're young. And a lot of times we do it to see if we want to hire them.
Yeah, right.
We do that, but there's been a lot of bad pitches. Lots of them.
I saw that caught your eye.
I saw that caught your eye. That's a good line.
This guy kept sliding the catalog across that. I saw that was catching your eye.
Yeah, I saw that caught. Hey, I saw you were looking at that. Well, you're fucking talking to me. I don't know. I was listening to you. That's how.
That's funny.
Just some shitbird salespeople out there. I had a guy one time come into the office. This is before me and Chris were in business together, but he had a members only jacket on. He's an old dude, had a members only jacket, and he sat down across the desk from me and said, "Listen," and he was selling SEO stuff, which in credit card processing is a shitbird of an investment. Right. You're not going to get people to find you on Google or Facebook or whatever and call you and go, "Will you do my credit card process?" It just doesn't work for us. I wish it did. We'd throw money at it, but it just doesn't work. We have thrown money at it. It just doesn't work. So he told me, and he slid back in his chair, and he was like, "Listen, man, I make more money than anybody in this fucking complex." And I said, "Oh, yeah?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll have your phone ringing off the hook. You, my man, will have to get another administrative assistant." And I said, "Damn, that's bold, man." I was like, "That much?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Listen, dude." I said, "I'll be honest with you, man. I like you, and thank you for pitching me like that. And dude, you got a members only jacket on." And I just stared at him. And he was like,
they stopped making those in the mid '80s.
I said, "What's that supposed to mean?" I was like,
"This is vintage, man. It's vintage."
I'm telling you, first off, really, really rich people aren't doing door to door anymore because they're done with that. Yeah, they got other people doing it for them. Number two, they don't wear members only jackets anymore, man. I said, "So I'll tell you what. Why don't you come back in a couple of months and let's do this again?"
That's right.
Did he ever come back?
No. Yeah, he probably had already quit. It's bold to say that though, because you don't know how. There was a doctor that was in next to us. That's right. I was like, "Man, that doctor makes pretty good money. I've seen his car. He has an Aston Martin."
Yeah, so I always take the approach. I do the same thing at the house too. So whenever somebody comes and knocks on the door, my wife will hear it, and she'll pull up the app and see who's at the door, and from the kitchen, and she'll go, "Oh, it's somebody selling something," and I will literally drop what I'm doing and run to go catch them before they leave, just so that I can hear their pitch. Like I actually enjoy listening to people's pitches.
Sure.
And like you said, people get there's so much negativity out there that, I think it's good to give somebody a good positive door in their day. And even if I don't buy what they're selling, whatever it is, at least they get a chance to get it out without getting kind of yelled at. Or
yeah. Well, I think a couple of things that are important in life. Okay. I think you need to be a server or a bartender for a year, maybe 2 years of your life. It's very important because the way you get treated in restaurants, there's a percentage of people that are just assholes, and they're rude to bartenders and servers, which is crazy to me. But it happens. You've seen it, right? You've seen it, and then I think everybody should do some kind of door-to-door sales once in their life, and that could be for only 6 months or 3 months for that matter. But you will see the other side of that coin and how hard those people work.
That's it.
Because those door-to-door salespeople bust their ass.
They do.
Morning to night, and they are getting kicked in the teeth. Even if everybody was nice to you, which they're not, you're still working long days, sweating in the sun, or if in Georgia you're sweating in the sun, and in Minnesota you're freezing your ass off. So, those two things are important for somebody to do in their career, because whatever you end up doing, it'll make you a more rounded person.
That's the truth. My brother has stories. He was, fortunately, I've done some crazy jobs, never door to door, but my brother, for a while, right out of college, was, this is in Pittsburgh, was doing door to door sales for a water filtration system. And he was in some interesting neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, and he has some stories of getting chased numerous times by dogs and stuff, and but it helped cut his teeth in the sales business. So definitely something that if you've never done it, you try it, and it's like you said, you really see the other side.
Oh, it makes you better. It gives you a better perspective, and just makes you nicer to people.
I can add on to that. It's not just door to door. It could be cold call sales on the phone too. It's just a grind, man. A grind, and nobody starts out great. You have to work yourself into it. Some people are naturally better at people, and talking to people, but they're you still have to take your bumps, man. Get kicked a few times, probably more than a few times.
Oh yeah.
So, but that again, that helps you cut your teeth. That makes you stronger if you can handle it. But and not everybody can.
That's it. So
I
like to call them losers.
Oh yeah, get in a different industry then.
So I've got a question about the insurance. So I mean, the life insurance we talked about, that's obviously super important. What about like the residential, or not, like the PNC insurance versus like commercial insurance? So do you look for more businesses, or do you look for more private, like individuals?
So I think a lot of there may be guys who tell you differently, but the sales model I've always gone by, and it's paid dividends, is you work from the homeowners first, get their house first, and then run from there, because then get to know them. Okay, you're gonna get, if you have their house, you're gonna most likely be able to get their cars, and then you start talking to them. Oh wait, I own a guy who owns a trucking business, or he owns a concrete business. So okay, all right, you get to know them. In a year you quote that, and then the life insurance comes after that. But so usually, the way I've learned is try and do the home first, and that's sort of my business model. I'm really attached. I'm try and build referral sources through real estate guys and mortgage brokers, because I feel like if you can get that house, that that the biggest asset, everything else sort of rolls from there.
So get the big piece first, and then get the toys later.
That's sort of how build that trust with them.
Well, the big commission is that life insurance. I mean, you get popped. It's a big pop, right?
It's a big pop in the beginning, and then
that's your free vacation right there.
That's the one they all want. All the companies want now, and I get it. It's very important, but that's changed even since
for sure.
It wasn't heavily weighted the way it is now, but I mean, you got it. If you're in the insurance business, PNC is very important, and those renewals are great. But the company, you got to sell that life insurance. That's their baby.
Well, I'll tell you though. I mean, at the end of the day, the life insurance policies are not as good as a residual as the renewals in the home and auto, though.
Bingo.
So I'd have to think that. I mean, we do the same thing with merchants. So I'd have to say the multiplier on a sell is not that great on your life insurance because they haven't gotten since the beginning. So it depends on where that is in that policy. Yep. But the auto and the home are going to renew, and that's kind of the multiplier, I would think.
That's it. And some of the agents I've worked with and stuff. They are so big on the P&C side, they can live off their renewals. But the company started saying, okay, well, if you sell a little bit of life insurance, we're going to give you, and your P&C, we're going to give you a huge bonus at the end of the year. And we're talking 6-figure bonuses in some cases. And so the agent said, oh, this is great. And then after about 5 years, the company said, okay, now you got to sell this much life insurance or you're not getting that bonus. But you get used to these big bonuses at the end of the year. You bank on it. So it's like,
because you're not getting renewals on those.
That's right. So you're like, oh my gosh, even though they set my life insurance this high now, I got to get to it because it doesn't matter how much P&C I need that bonus now. But that's the way it is with every company.
That's the grind.
That's the grind.
Turn your head and cough.
Yeah. That's why. That's why the bar business and liquor and beer, still they'll always be there.
Sure.
A hard day at work and told a few back. Say, okay, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's where it goes.
Do you know why liquor stores are a essential business? Do you know why that is?
I do not know.
I think I heard this.
No. It's real. So
alcoholism it's a medical thing.
Oh, really?
So yes. So what it is it's people are like, it's a mental thing. It's not. During a pandemic, and why is it essential is because alcoholics, they don't want to give up a bed in the hospital for an alcoholic. So if you shut the liquor stores down, every alcoholic that's going to go into what am I trying to say here? Withdrawal. Yeah. If they're going to go into withdrawal, they're going to go to the hospital because they could die. Alcoholics can die if you have to wean yourself off if you're that big of an alcoholic. So they don't want to give up the beds, which makes perfect sense.
Okay. So they become essential.
They're essential because they've figured out the percentage of alcoholics that would probably use up a bed, and it's way too many that they can't give up. Because then the guy from a heart attack dies.
So what you're saying is that liquor stores are actually part of the medical infrastructure.
Sure, they're open for medicinal purposes.
That's it, right. For sure. In this case, absolutely. Yeah,
I like it, man. It does make sense.
Mm-hmm. That's why. How do you think? From state to state, you're saying. I've heard about Dade County. I've read some stuff about the insurance down there, how crazy that is. But what do you think about the states locking down and the ones that have opened up? Like Georgia's been great.
Yeah.
They were we were the last to shut down. We were the first to open. Texas has been good. Florida's been pretty good. But a lot of these states are still closed down.
Yeah, I mean, my hometown, my home state, Pennsylvania, is shut down. Heck, you can't even go to a Steeler game. I mean, Steelers try to get 7,500 people in their playoff game.
You definitely can't now.
Can't now. No, they got bounced pretty early. But I'm not a medical professional. I think I think that there is.
You did stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Although I did, yes, it's true. No, I think there's a happy median somewhere in there between being full wide open and fully shut down. Because life's got to go on.
But I think because it was so big and widespread and everybody, that's all they've heard about. Yeah. Even Georgia has been shut down.
Right.
Even though the state's like, you can go back to work and you can do this, everybody else is conscious of it. And they're not going out, or other people. Some people are doing, and they're doing them, and that's fine. Yeah. But I don't want to be in a state that goes, you can't do this and you can't do this, because then you're messing with my livelihood.
Yeah. Same with me. Even when I was walking in here, I walked in, I stopped for a second. I was like, wait a second, maybe I better get my mask. I don't know if these guys, if I need to come in with a mask. I don't know. But
so you chose.
I just left it. I left it in the car.
You chose
we're mask neutral.
Yes.
I figured you guys would be handing them out if we needed them. So
anyway. Yeah. Well, we were supposed to hand you one right when you walked in, and
we sanitize.
I was like, this guy's he's on his last leg anyway. So
we do a full office sanitation once an hour. Yeah. So you're totally fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we sprayed on every surface.
And
looks very clean
in that room there that you came by. We have a curtain that you have to stand beside, and we do all the body cavity.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's
checks and stuff like
cavity
that.
Checks.
Yes, cavity checks.
I wasn't here when that started.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, you need to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's thorough. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
it's thorough.
Well, you know nothing's there.
No. It's good. It's good.
It's like going into jail or something. Yeah. Okay.
No. It's good for you.
Oh,
it's good for you.
I'll take your word for it on that.
Oh no! You have to go out before you leave. We lock the doors.
Oh man, that's good. So I know in this complex, you guys have been here how long? Just I know not this specific, but in this. I mean, were you guys one of the first ones in this?
Oh no! This place has been here for like 20 years.
Well, I know because we were one of the first ones when I was but
this place has been here I think 20 years.
02, 03, yeah.
It's when it was built. I think we moved in 2013.
Oh, okay.
Right, 2014.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
Still, all of a sudden, that's a while, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. No, we've enjoyed it here. I don't like the U-turn.
Yeah.
The U-turn.
The U-turn sucks.
Brutal.
But, I think we're about to dig in. We're going to try to buy this building, and we're just going to dig in and
we gotta
embrace what they say, embrace the suck.
What we need to find like a city councilman or somebody that we can like get some dirt on and get them to like make a cutout.
Talking about full on
okay.
Extortion.
Or whatever. I wasn't going to use that word.
Extortion.
But, coercion.
Coercion. Yeah. That's not a good word either.
Gentle, forcefulness. Whatever. Or just a negotiation.
Well, I know how you can do it. Are you ready?
What's that?
You buy that property that Racetrack owns, and then you can do it. You can do whatever you want to with that property.
Well, you still got to have some kind of an easement to cut across.
It's already got an easement.
Yeah. I don't know what it would cost to buy. That gas station may have.
That gas station already has an easement on 41 and on 92. It's actually a good spot.
They may have. I don't want to be coming out of that intersection. I want to come out on the other side. But
you'd have to fight. Might have to fight that Title Max there too. Although they might like a cut through there.
Well, Title Max, that's the property I'm saying. They don't own that place.
Oh, they don't.
No, Racetrack owns that whole thing. I called them one time. It's for sale. So I called them. I think they want 1.4 for it, something like that. It's not a bad. It's actually not a bad.
I'm sure they'll get it eventually.
I don't know if they can get a gas station there, or they had to build one. I think it has a leak.
That's what I was going to say.
And you could build something on top of it.
It's expensive though. You got to dig out
environmental
all that
shit.
The gas station has a leak?
No,
it did. Like the tanks.
Which is why
you have to sit for like 7, 10, 15 years, whatever that is, I think. I'm pretty sure.
The environmental, when a gas station tank has any kind of leak, I think even if it turns over, if the property's sold even possibly, they have to do this massive EPA,
but I think you can put a building right there. You can't just do another gas station right there.
I think it's anything. I think any kind of building that goes there, they have to dig all that out.
So if it's an existing building, like
maybe.
Title Max wasn't always there. They rented that property. They don't own that shit.
Well, have you guys ever been to Pittsburgh? I mean, Pittsburgh
for Pittsburgh. You know what's fun to do in Pittsburgh?
What's that?
Pack up and leave.
No, whoa, hold on. No, that's a great town, but for
I like Pittsburgh and I like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Philly. Could take
I don't like Eagles fans.
Yeah,
no, Eagles fans are awful. Yes,
but Pittsburgh in the '80s, I remember going. They still had the shells of the steel mills and all that stuff, and then they tore them down on the river, but nothing. They couldn't put up anything for many years till all that
same thing
seepage and all that stuff was gone. But now it's the south side of Pittsburgh and everything. It's great. I mean, there's restaurants, bars. I mean, it's south side's awesome.
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia had a team one time. You know that, right?
This is true.
And they had a team because something happened. It was World War II or something.
World War II.
It was World War II or whatever.
That.
And,
the Steagles.
It was called the Steagles.
Yeah.
And they
for like a year or two.
Yeah, I don't know how long.
I think it was a year or two, and then that was it. And,
they fought in the locker room all the time because they hated each other.
The one thing I'll say about Philly, I had a buddy who lived there for a while. If you're from Pittsburgh, you don't necessarily. There's a little bit of rivalry
was
there,
this guy from West Philadelphia born
and
raised?
No, he was from Pittsburgh or from Johnstown, but he lived in Pittsburgh for a while. But best cheesesteaks, in my opinion. A lot of people are going to tell you Gino and Pat's. There's a place called Tony Luke's. It's a little off the beaten path. I think those are the best cheesesteaks in Philly. So I'm just saying, and nothing against. Their chicken pizza is great. But Tony Luke's, I'm telling you, in my opinion, they get the best cheesesteaks.
Nah, Philly.
But I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so I don't know how much that means.
A real Philly cheesesteak you can only get from Philly.
Right.
I mean, and I've had them a few times. And they're greasy as hell.
Yeah, they put the cheese whiz and stuff on them.
Man.
Again, Tony Luke's, they'll do them however you want them, but they're great cheesesteaks. So Tony Luke's.
I haven't had one in a long time. I need one.
Yeah, we need to fly up there and go get one.
Need to do it.
I'll have my pilot's license soon. We can just fly up there in our plane. Our plane.
Are you serious?
You're gonna own half of it.
That's right. Okay.
You're serious? You're getting your pilot's license?
Yeah, I've taken. Man, it sucks because I've taken 3 lessons now, but they've been booked. I haven't even been able to get an hour in the last 2 weeks.
Is it down in McCollum? Is that where you?
No, up in Cartersville is where I went.
Okay.
Yeah,
A Phoenix Air up there?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been cool. So I've actually done 4 because I did a 2-hour one, and it's by the your lessons are kind of by the hour. So yeah, I've done 4 lessons. I'm like got about 40 more hours to do probably.
Jeez, oh man, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I've wanted to.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I wanted anybody. You could do it. Anybody can do it. I just
I'm not
I've wanted to do it for a while, and I finally just kind of said I'm going to start. And that's pretty much with anything. Just start.
But you get your pilot's license, so that's great. But then you would say, all right, me and my buddies, we're going to go fly down to Florida or wherever. And you got to run a plane, pay for the fuel. I mean, that's got to be astronomical. I think.
No, it's not. So it's not. It's actually no. I can fill that plane up for the 4-seater Cessna or whatever. Nah, cheaper than filling your truck up. You know what I mean? It's not that expensive.
Really?
Yeah. $100 to fill it up, whatever. It's not as cheap as a truck, obviously, but it's not bad. And there's my neighbor owns a plane, and he rents a hangar out in Cedartown for $150 a month. A hangar.
That's crazy.
Not tying it up outside.
It's cheaper than a
boat.
So
That's right. Yeah. The big thing about planes, and again, I don't know a ton about it. Scratch the surface of it, but the expensive thing about planes are the annuals.
Okay.
So that's why you can buy a 1975 plane that is in good condition that you can buy and that it's okay, is because they do annuals every year. You have to take it to aeronautic mechanic,
right? It's
and they have to check off on this. And if it's not done, you got to go. You got to do this and this before we check it off, and you can't fly yet. You can't fly.
So 40 some hours. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So once you get 40 more hours, then you can jump in that plane, no co-pilot, and take some of your buddies and just go.
Kind of. Okay, so you can.
It's like a learner's permit.
No, it's a pilot's license. But the problem is you can't fly in bad weather.
Okay. There's more classes.
So they call that an instrumental
and altitude.
They call it an instrumental license. So you go and get your pilot's license, your private pilot's license.
Okay.
And then after that, and people say don't skip a beat. Once you get that license, give them $1,000 more and start taking your instrumental, because
it's the visibility. You have to have a certain amount of visibility.
Well, so here's the thing, though. This is the weird thing is it's Georgia in the summer. Okay, I can be in a beautiful day and then it turned not beautiful real quick.
Right.
So you really want to get your instrumental. I would think.
And then that's how many more hours is that?
I believe it's another 20 or 30 hours.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I believe. And there's some obviously some tests you have to take on paper for both of them. But I don't know. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's great.
Getting comfortable, getting in there and flying. And the guy let me fly it like that last one. He let me fly like 45 minutes. By myself.
Well, when it happens, we'll take you up with us and we'll get those cheesesteaks.
All right. Well, I'm going to let him log
Philadelphia.
I don't blame you. I would not for cheesesteaks.
Have to stop twice for gas. So these little planes will go. You wouldn't have to stop twice. You would have to stop once. Yeah, 400 or 500 miles. You get gas and you refill and go. So I'm assuming Philadelphia is probably 700-800 miles away.
I bet. Yeah.
What's the speed on those Cessnas? What do they get up to?
It depends on which one you're talking about. I think the 172 is the most. It's the 172 is the most sold airplane ever.
Right.
And more people have gotten their pilot's license on that.
How high does it fly?
It'll go like 10,000 feet.
Okay.
It'll go like 10, 12, 13,000 feet. I asked that. The guy said they got one of theirs like 11,000 feet one time. But we've been hanging around 3,000 to 5,000 when I'm flying.
Should get your I'm sure you fly over, you feel a lot of turbulence. So there's some decent amount of turbulence.
Well, I try to pick days that there's not a lot of wind, but yeah. Oh yeah, it moves. It moves.
Have you guys ever gone up with them?
I haven't gone up. No.
Oh, yeah.
My dad owned a small plane like that for a couple of years when I was, till I was like 12. So I was kind of used to it, but it'd been a while. The first time I went up with my neighbor, and it was windy as hell, and I was not used to it, man. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't. Well,
It's not a
like,
747.
not a lot of things. Look, I don't get nervous. I don't get jumpy. Skydiving, whatever. I just jump out. Whatever. How many? I look at the percentage, like, the percentage of you dying is not good. So yeah, I'm good.
Right.
But that thing made me feel uneasy. It was like it was moving through the air. The wind was absolutely pushing it. And obviously, this guy that owns the plane, he's used to it. So he's like, they're built for it. They're built for it.
Well,
yeah. But here's my plan at first, and even a long time ago when me and Chris started this company, I'm like, I want to own a plane because I want to be able to fly from office to office. And I want to be able to, if I want to meet somebody in Jacksonville that day, it's a big deal. Fly down there and come back the same day,
right.
Have dinner with my family, and just, go down there and come back. Well, with this podcast thing that we're doing, we feel like we're going to get some traction and be able to open these things in other cities, for small businesses to do this thing because, look, there's not a lot of these around right now, right. And, we try to build this up where we can get business people in like you that doesn't have a platform that can talk on that, and we edit it and give it to you and put it on your social.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's a fantastic idea. I'm impressed with the way you talk about thinking outside the box and trying times for businesses.
Well, nobody helped me on this. I came up with this completely on my own, and I walked up the hill both ways. Bailey helped me none of this.
Well, it was 7 miles to the school. It was
right.
uphill both ways. It was snowing.
Yeah.
I was naked.
That's right.
Look, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, right? So I have to say I don't know if I've ever come up with a complete idea by myself, but I think I try to put a little spin on it. And look, the difference is we're willing to just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people's problem in business, and they're scared to take that step. They're scared to go behind that door that they don't know what's there. Where when Bailey brought his box of goodies in, and it was 2 mics and 2 headphones and a couple of wires and that soundboard, that's the smaller soundboard that's laying up there.
Right.
That's all we had. And that plastic box outside that's still sitting there. And I was like, let's go buy some more stuff. I think he brought it in January of last year. So it was like January of 2020. So we had no idea COVID really. Yeah. We knew it existed in China, but we didn't. That's happened so many times since we were kids.
Right.
SARS,
bird flu,
the swine flu, and it just on and on and on, where it just never came to America and was it wasn't prevalent for sure.
Right.
Some people came on planes and had it, but
I don't think anybody really thought that it would. I don't think in the first couple of months, in like December, January, February.
Not.
Even when it happened, people were like, it'll be over by June, May, whatever. They didn't know it was going to go this far.
Yeah. That's right.
So it wasn't prevalent. It hadn't been prevalent, all these other diseases that's come over here. So, I looked at Bailey. I was like, well, let's go to Guitar Center and let's buy some more stuff because I think this will be a good idea to start. And look, man, for the first, 3 months, we were just audio.
Yeah.
And we didn't buy a ton. Fixed this table up, did a couple things. And then we moved over here and we had a bigger space. Yeah. The space helped because we were in a kitchenette of that other office. Yeah. Literally in a cramped space. So when we moved here, the space was a lot better. It was a lot more conducive to do a podcast. And then we went and started doing video. And we're learning. We're learning every day about it.
I'm thoroughly impressed. You guys, you'd never think about, you guys, if the opportunity ever came about, somebody says, hey, why don't you do, an hour or 2 radio show, something like that? Would you, if they see your podcast, would you ever think about doing something like that?
Yeah, but I wouldn't pay for it. So that's the thing. Radio's still expensive.
It is. You're right.
Radio and even print ad, still astronomical. So this is what I believe about there's a lot of bad shit about technology, okay? Facebook's ridiculous. Like, I don't even like going on there because I don't like these crazy stories. You don't know if they're true, you don't know if they're real, and then somebody grabs hold of it that and goes, hey, did you see this? I'm like, that's not real.
Right.
Nobody's growing 3 arms because of the vaccine. You know what I mean? Like crazy stuff. Right. I saw, we got a post from a chiropractor. I actually took a picture and sent it to Chris. And the guy said this on the post. And I don't know if he's serious. I don't know. Hank Aaron got the vaccine on national TV to show the African American community that there was nothing to worry about. 2 months later, he was dead.
It wasn't even 2 months. It was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks later, he was dead. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, you can't put that out there. Look, is it true? Is it true? Probably not. Okay, it's probably not true. The truth is he was 86 and he had health issues anyways.
Right.
More than likely.
Right.
Will we ever know? I don't know. Is there something about that? Maybe. But you can't put it out there because it causes mass fucking hysteria where somebody might need it and really needs to take it is not going to do it anymore because of your stupid ass post. You know, somebody that's in a really bad situation that if they get COVID, they would die and that vaccine would help them. Man, dude.
Yeah.
That is not a good post to put out there. Yeah. And especially with not all the science behind it, you know.
I agree with you.
So, you know, it's just, I would caution people of what they put out there, you know, and put on there, and because somebody's going to believe it. Yeah. And it might affect them way more than it affects you pushing that button and putting it out there. So what's good about the technology is you have a platform to say things that you couldn't afford in the first place to say with lots of people.
Right.
I couldn't go on 11 of Live news. Even to this day, 11 Live will call me and say, we're doing postings for businesses and you get 20-second spot in the morning at 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, 5:30 in the morning? Like, who am I going to get? You know what I mean? So, well, you can advertise your business. Like, get out of here.
Right.
How much is it? $5,000. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy time. It's so expensive. So what this does give you is it gives you the ability to spread your message to the people you want to spread it to. If you want to, you can narrow in exactly who you want to spread it to. If you only want to send it to the people in your close community, you can.
Right.
Just your clients, you can. Like, we could absolutely take a video and a YouTube video and do a podcast just for our clients, pull their emails and send it just to them and say, hey, this is what you need to know about credit card processing this week. Here's a scam that's been going on. We hear about these scams all the time of new scams that come out in credit card processing that we could maybe deliver that message. Hey, if somebody calls you and says they can, you know, hey, look, I have a courier that needs to get there. What's the story? This story goes on all the time. They want $2,000 worth of product, and all they have to do is mail it. But we have a carrier that's going to bring them a check, and they're going to take the package of all the stuff, and here's the check. Or it's a money order, even better.
Right.
Yeah. That's shady.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it. I had a lady one time.
I believe it.
She owned a one of these tool trucks. I'm not going to say the company, but it was a tool truck, and she had somebody call her from South Florida and said, I need this much equipment, this much stuff, this many tools. She said, okay, I was like $1,500 worth of stuff. I said, I'm going to give you a credit card and I need you to mail it to me. She said, okay, cool. He gives her a credit card. He goes, but don't run it for the whole amount. Only run it for half. And when I get it, you can run the other half. I said, okay, cool. She ran it.
Oh my gosh.
Send it out. Everything's good. Run the other half. Everything's good. 2 weeks later, charge back. Wasn't the dude's credit card. All the tools are gone. So I told the lady, I was like, how many people, and she's from Atlanta area, how many of those tool trucks are between you and South Florida? She said thousands. I go, why the heck would you do that? She goes, well, I'm going to leave you for credit card process if you don't give me money. I said, you better find another credit card processor. I'm not giving you $2,000 worth of tools. You should have called me first. You know? Yeah. So there's these scenarios, especially in credit card processing, especially when you're wiring money, that you got to think about it. And me and Chris always say, Chris says it especially, goes, dude, if your spotty sense is tingling, if you feel that it's not right, it's probably not right. And we have them, especially Chris, you have a lot of people call you on a monthly basis. Sure. Is this right?
Oh, you got to listen to your gut. I mean, at the end of the day, if it feels wrong or if it feels too good to be true, then it usually
walk
is.
Away. Yeah, it usually is. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it happens, and people get taken all the time. Yeah. And the thing about it is, if you have a merchant account, you really have the license to print money. And a lot of people don't think that way, but you do.
You do. Yeah.
You can open up a merchant account if you're a shady person, steal 100 credit cards, swipe every one of them for $100, take the money out the next day, and get out of there. And there's a lot of people that try to do it the business way too. They try to get a merchant account for free. We have these people calling us all the time going, hey, especially when we were doing the SEO work.
Right.
Random people were calling us going, hey, can we I live in, Washington State. I need a merchant account. I'm like, okay, well, it's $200 to set it up. Oh, no, I'm not paying you $200. Well, what it was is a scam company. And in underwriting, 99.9%, our underwriters would catch it.
Would catch it, yeah.
And go, no, these guys aren't real.
Right.
But there's a lot of companies out there, process companies.
I never thought about that. Yeah, that's something I never thought about. On that
I've had merchants swipe their own credit cards to make payroll, which is not good.
Oh, my goodness.
They call me and they're like, hey, why is this money on hold? I was like, you own a $5 average ticket business. You sell coffee and you ran a $2,000 charge. Why? Well, I need to make payroll. I was like, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. That's manufacturing money. Can't do that. And it's against your merchant account.
It is.
For sure. The contract you sign says you can't do that. But it's also probably federally against the law somehow.
I'm sure it is.
But I said, what did you sell? A coffee machine? That's what I said. She said, no, I made payroll with it. I go,
nope.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can't do that. They're not going to accept that. They're going to give you your money back on your card.
You don't have to terminate their contract right there. You just sort of slap it and say, "Don't do that again."
Well, because the process that didn't go through.
Yeah. Of course, if they're doing that they're probably not. That company's probably not going to be around much longer.
They're
anyways, not. I would imagine
they don't sell coffee anymore. They do not. They're out of business.
Surprising.
So, and look, I heard a story, and I think it's true. But the guy, did you know who did the Falcons just hired as coach? What's his name?
Arthur Smith.
Yes.
So his dad was the CEO founder of FedEx. Didn't know that till the other day.
Yes, I heard.
Interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
No, he's rich.
Yeah,
he's rich.
He doesn't need to.
He's rich. So Arthur Blank and him know each other. They're in each other's phones.
Right. Right.
I'm assuming Arthur Blank, the Home Depot guy, has this guy's FedEx number in his cell phone, right?
I would imagine.
They're billionaires. That's a kind of a small company there.
Right.
But this guy, and I have my wife's uncle, it's a great guy. He worked for FedEx he actually worked for a different shipping company, and FedEx gobbled him up. And then he worked for FedEx for the remainder 10, 15 years of his career. But this guy, whatever his name is,
Arthur Smith?
Yeah, Arthur Smith's dad.
Yeah.
In the first year or two of FedEx infancy, he went to Vegas and put, I think, on roulette or blackjack or whatever to make payroll, and got it and won. FedEx.
That's crazy.
Multi-billion-dollar company, and he did that. And supposedly that's a true story. So
that's a cool story if it's true.
That's coming from my wife's uncle, and he worked there for years. And I actually read that online too. That did happen, but
wow.
I mean, so look, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
That's right.
That same coffee shop. If a is that a phone ringing? If a 4-lane road ripped through there a year after that and brought 10,000 more cars, and that person had to make payroll of 2,000, that seems like a pretty good fucking idea, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
They go from 1,000 coffee cups a day, or excuse me, a month, to 20,000 coffee cups a day. That sounds like a pretty good idea.
That's a pretty darn good idea for sure. If it works out that way. Yeah.
But I think everybody makes some sort of decisions like this in business, whether, maybe a little less than that, but, here's what we're going to have to do to stay in business. Here's what we're going to have to do to, get over this, this hump, if you will. I know I have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing that's breaking the law, but hey, I got to go on a week road trip. I've told that to my wife multiple times. Road trips I make a lot of money on. Yeah. We could go me and Chris right now could get in the car, pack our bags, go to a small town like Greenville, South Carolina, or Macon, Georgia, Mobile, Alabama. Yeah. And if we needed 20 deals, we could get them in 10 to 14 days. If we just buried down and did it, we could do it.
Could do it.
And that's what we would do if we had to. We wouldn't put our heads in the sand. We'd
Yeah.
we go
Make
just
it
go,
happen.
we just go wear it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. When COVID first, well, it hadn't hit yet, but I was sort of in the process of looking to have my own agency, and COVID hit, and the sort of the brokerage company that I was looking to get a franchise with basically shut down. Said, "Well, we're not doing anything right now. You can't can't do training, you can't do anything." So, and I was like, "Dang, well,
What
I got to do something." It was a company called Goosehead.
No, so it wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. No, it wasn't meant to be. And I said, you know what? Yeah. So another door opened, and took this opportunity, and it's great. And it's working out. But that's it. I mean,
What's the company you work for now?
it's the company's called Auto Club Group. It's AAA, but it's
AAA owned.
it's AAA. It's a AAA membership. So AAA in one state, it's all membership. So this is AAA Georgia. So but there's AAA New Mexico. There's AAA,
Sure.
Detroit, all that stuff. But
And they're just feeding you leads.
we have member leads. Anybody who's a member,
Suckers.
So yeah,
I
that's
swear.
good.
That's
It's good,
great.
but it works great, and it's a great company to work for.
Yeah.
Great product. AAA has been around for forever. But if you look at like Insure.com and some of these other insurance ranking companies, AAA is tops. Not
That's
just
awesome.
in P&C, but life insurance. They're member first, which I like. You keep clients for a long, long time. As we said, it's great knowing that you can have a client for 30 years and they trust the company. But it's great. I'm blessed to be there, and I'm very happy. So
So are you guys a brokerage, like in the sense that
They're not captive. Yeah.
So
we're not. We're technically not captive. There are some differences with some strictly independent agents. But they're it's if we can sell the AAA product first, which is a great product, when we sort of do that.
Yeah.
So
But
if
we
it
do have
goes
other
with
options.
them, if it goes with them, you really have to put it with them.
In most cases,
Probably better commission too.
Right.
Yes, and you're absolutely right.
They control the cost of the margin.
Right.
But if something doesn't fit with them, you can
doesn't
go
fit,
look somewhere else.
Absolutely, it's members first. So it's what they're looking to do is, hey, if this is the best thing for the member.
See, I
this is
like
what we're gonna
you're
do.
at Progressive, General, Insurance Omaha, anything
A lot of that
beyond
stuff.
what you do.
Yeah, there's Travelers,
Autos.
a lot of stuff underneath that banner, but.
Mercury is one of them, right?
Yes, is one of them. There's probably off the top of my head, I think maybe 25
Of the smaller mid-level insurance or insurance companies.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what we need. How much money you have to be an actual insurance, like
to
30 million, 50 million,
No,
100 million?
Listen, I know some guys who are independent agents.
No, I'm not talking about independent insurance. I'm talking about having the actual insurance company.
Owning the company.
And-
boy, yeah.
100 million, would that do it? It'd have to be more than that, probably, right?
Yeah, because
You got to be able to pay the claims.
That's right.
that's it. Yeah, I mean that's
On
the way it's
mass.
regulated.
So what do you think every policy you had to have is X amount in the bank, right?
You got to.
That's what it would be.
You got to
though,
own
the math.
land. I think land. I
A
would
bond,
think.
a bond.
something.
No question
Some
about
kind
it.
of collateral.
So I mean, there's an algorithm that there's math to that. Like
Yeah.
for every policy, you have to have X amount in the bank, right?
Well, I think in theory, you'd probably have to have enough to, worst case scenario, all your policies go bad at the same time. You got to be able to pay, at least be able to liquidate and pay them all
Right.
out.
Well, there's a company that I worked for. There's a company that I worked for.
That's so much money.
Well, there's a company that I worked for instance, they had a bunch of properties down in Florida, owned a bunch of homeowner properties, a huge hurricane, and I don't know if it was Hugo, but anyway, it almost bankrupt the company. So the company had to split and say, okay, we're going to open a subsidiary company under this name, and we're going to severely limit it, but it's separate from our because it did almost
protect,
bankrupt. It almost did bankrupt them, but
The company me and Chris started out for selling credit card processing full time in 2006. They didn't sign up furniture stores for some reason. It's like, why? So we went on 3-6 months, and we were down there for a leadership sales champion conference or whatever. I don't know what you call it, whatever, superstars or whatever.
Retreat.
Yeah, sales retreat, if you will. Involved a bunch of booze and a lot of fun.
There wasn't a lot of training. There's a little bit of training.
But I walked into the CEO's office. Great guy, by the way. But he, Bill Blakey, yeah, he's a great guy. But I walk in his office. I'm like, Why don't you sign up? I'm 26 at this time. I go, why don't you sign up? Why can't we sign up furniture stores? It seems like good business. I mean, I don't know, And he said, I'll tell you why. He goes, we had 5 furniture stores in Hickory, North Carolina, right down in a row. And he goes, a tornado came through, ripped every one of those up. And he goes, and I got stuck with a $400,000 bill. Whatever it was. It's a long time ago. It's 14 years ago. So I don't remember the exact story, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, so it's more of a pride thing? Fuck furniture stores. Yeah. So it had nothing to do with underwriting. It's like I can sign whoever I want to. I own the company. Right. And it's like me and Chris going, we're not signing up these people today. Huh. We're not signing up restaurants. It would be stupid for credit card process, but it'd be like us. Like, we're not doing it just because of this.
Oh, that's wild.
And he did it. He didn't want to sign them. So we did.
He was the boss.
I just don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, it left a bad taste in his mouth. Yeah. Because because they weren't public then.
That's right.
So he probably, a lot of that came. He wrote that directly to him. Oh yeah. Yeah. It came directly from him. So it would put a bad taste in somebody's mouth.
And you guys do. I mean, as far as the credit card processing, is there? Is there like sort of a? You guys do mid-level companies, or like if there's a small concrete pumping company or something.
Sure, most of our stuff is small and mid businesses. I mean, we have some companies doing 10, 20 million a year in processing. I think probably that's one of our biggest ones. What, 10 or 20 million? I don't know. You read, look at these numbers. So we can sign up pretty much anybody. The problem is when you get up to a certain amount, like your Starbucks or your McDonald's, that you get thousands of things. The problem is the rate's not the issue then. Because they got such
logistics.
They got so much of a low rate at that point. And again, we're not comparing apples to apples here, like with insurance or with sugar. Right. You know what I mean? If Walmart can sell sugar cheaper than the dollar store sells sugar, the same Dixie sugar bag, Walmart sells it cheaper. Well, why? Because they buy more.
Yeah, it's supply and demand.
They buy more, right?
Buy the bulk.
Insurance providers do different for different things, and the reason they're either bigger, smaller, they're taking a big hit on that, they're whatever it may be, they're cheaper on the same exact policy, straight up and down. Well, there's a lot of things, variables that go in there. Well, credit card processing is not like that. Credit card processing, there is a rate that's given, or not a rate, rates called interchange, and everybody gets that. And you can mark it up however you want to over that. Okay. So the $1 billion companies, that are the First Datas of the world, all them, really, we can give just as good or better rates than them.
Right. Okay.
It's how close do you want to be to cost?
Right.
And if somebody's doing $1,000 a month, if you're doing a penny and 1 basis point over cost, you're making $10 every 10 years.
Right.
It's just
right.
It's $1 a year, so it's not worth doing that.
Right, absolutely.
So, the larger companies with larger volume gets better deals. So when you're talking about a huge conglomerate type company, it costs more than they would save to take all the equipment out and put new equipment in.
Plus, it's the red tape too. I mean, the amount of back and forth and having to go to like the board, and there's just so much red tape that I could sign up 100 smaller merchants in the amount of time it would take me to get one of those big ones.
There's a restaurant, a really big restaurant in the Panhandle, one of the cities down there, and I looked at their statement, and they were doing $4 or $5 million a month in credit card processing, and we would have made $30 a month off them. So whoever signed that deal is an idiot, or they just wanted the name, which is okay too.
Right.
I want the name of this restaurant because it's the biggest name, and I can send reps to go sign up all the people around them and go, we have this restaurant. And they go, everybody knows that restaurant. Oh, if you have that restaurant, I want to do business with you. And that's kind of a way that they probably did it too, is, hey, we're going to hook you up just so we can get your neighbors.
But you're also probably doing a whole lot of work for $30 a month,
Well, you could be. In this case, they were using a POS system, and that POS system was probably handling 95% of their customer service, which is a different cost to them. So in this case, they probably never talked to these people for $30 a month. And this was a huge, they were with TSYS, major credit card processing company. They didn't care. So is it worth it? And in this case, for me and Chris, it wasn't worth it, because if we had to answer a couple of phone calls a month, that's not worth it.
Right.
So you have to walk away sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like he said, I could go sign up 10 other places that at that point make 100 times more than that I'm still giving them a good deal because it's relative.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still saving this guy 15%, 20%, and he loves me, and I love him because I'm still making a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
You know, so kind of how it is. Yeah. Everything come out good. Yeah. What do you think? Well, I appreciate you coming.
Hey, guys, thank you
great.
for that. This was awesome. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate
A lot of fun.
meeting Chris and Jay. You know, I appreciate it very much.
Yep, it was fun. We're gonna do another one.
Great.
Tell us how do the people watching, how do they find you, your website?
Yeah,
your info?
it's AAA. My office is down in East Cobb off Johnson's Ferry Road, but it's my email address. You can go to the AAA website, but my email address is just it's jbsheridan@acg.aaa.com. And that's really the best way to reach me. Even if you don't want to get insurance with me, if you have an insurance question, I'm happy to help out. And that's how we build rapport. And that's why I'm in the business, to help people. And that's about it. So appreciate it.
That's great. Thanks.